Hi Angels, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In my previous video, I talked about ways to help destimulate yourself and calm yourself down. So for today's video, I wanted to shift gears and instead talk about ways to enable productivity, not in a way that feels harsh or overbearing, but in a way that feels gentle, supportive, sustainable, and nurturing. First of all, one of the most effective ways towards recalibrating your mind is by disconnecting from your phone and stepping outside for an appropriate amount of time. Don't think of it as a punishment, but more so creating a healthy distance from constant activity. This helps remind you that productivity comes from presence, not pressure. Even doing simple and unpretentious things like admiring nature or observing the environment that surrounds you is essential to decluttering your mind and reestablishing mental clarity. You don't even have to be physically active. Just by being still with yourself and allowing yourself to be tranquil is just as proficient. But just remember, it's not just for your mind, it's for your entire nervous system. Another practice that remarkably helps me is by participating in simple muscle memory and brain games on my phone. This keeps my hands and my muscles occupied and stimulated while making sure my brain is engaged and hypervigilant on the task at hand, which also makes it easier to transition into something more productive afterwards. Unlike passive scrolling, which eventually leads to emotional drainage and mental fatigue, these little games require active engagement that makes you feel mentally alert rather than exhausted, and this is what helps regulate your attention by giving you something structured to focus on, especially when your mind is feeling disoriented and scattered. This is what helps reinforce your mental capacity. I've also realized that productivity doesn't always have to come from completing a task. Productivity could also look like discovering or learning something new. This makes productivity feel very inspiring because when you're not dependent on other people's approval or expectation, that is what begins to make it feel more like a form of self-respect rather than pressure. Growth doesn't have to be rushed or measured to be meaningful. Whether it's a new word you're learning, a topic you're interested in, or a skill, it all reminds me that growth doesn't have to have an outcome to be valuable. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. I love you all. Always remember, stay beautiful and stay unbothered. Mwah.